Hi, and thanks for watching another video by Jimthecarguy. The problem we're having is that the windshield wiper squirts up on the one side, but not on the other. But we're going to get underneath the hood, we're going to take a look and see what's going on. Now, being that it squirts on one side and not the other side, we know that the pump is working the way it's supposed to. So most likely it's going to be something to do with one of the hoses that lead over, or possibly one of these nozzles on here could possibly be clogged up too. Sometimes these nozzles right inside here become clogged, but looking at this one here, it looks like this nozzle has been removed already from the car for some reason, and obviously, as you can see, it's a different color. So let me show you what it's doing, and I'm going to show you how we can check it. And you see it squirts up on the one side, but not on the other. So let's get underneath the hood and let's take a look and see what's going on underneath there. It's down inside here, and this is the hose that brings the fluid up down inside here. So we know that we have fluid coming up to the nozzle, which is over in this area here, but we have no fluid coming in over here. So we're going to need to take this cover off underneath here to gain access to it. Now, there's a special tool that they make to take these off. It's like this here. It's a little tool like this. You slide underneath like this, and you pull out those clips just like that. But if you don't have that tool, you can use a pair of needle nose pliers that work just the same way. So let me show you. I'm going to need two hands to do this, so let me show you exactly how to do it. So you take the pair of pliers, you put them underneath like this. Just hook it like this and just pull it. And just watch you don't lose these clips because they're underneath them and put them back in. So put it all out. Same way. What we'll do is just take this cover and just lift it off these little hooks right here, like this. And you can remove it to gain access to it. And as soon as I take it off, it's pretty obvious what the problem is. Looks like somebody's been in here already playing around. Now this nozzle over here was replaced already, so I'm assuming that this is not the correct nozzle on here because it doesn't really hold properly. This one, it looks like somebody zip tied it in there. As you can see, nothing seems to work on that. And as you can see right here, this nozzle is actually broken right off. So let me call the dealer up. We're going to have to change these nozzles right here, this one, and I am going to change this hose here at the same time just to play it safe so we don't have any issues in the future. So let's get on the phone, let's get the parts and put the new ones in. Let's wrap it up. These are the parts. We had just gotten these in from the dealer. It took us a day to get them, so now we're going to put it back together and we're going to wrap it up. As you can see, these nozzles have these little plastic pieces on the side, like lock pins. When you push them through, they lock in by themselves. So let's remove the old stuff, and we're going to put it back on with the new. And left and right nozzle are both the same nozzle, so we don't have to worry about left and right. The hose assembly itself, it looks like it comes with new pins on here to lock it in place, so we're just going to pull this out and let's take the old one out, and then we'll come right back on the and open that up. This is the how it's mounted in here. You can see where the line is actually pushed in here. You want to make sure you put the line back in the same position, because otherwise, if you leave it at the wrong position, you're going to wind up bending this line or kinking it, and you're going to have squirting water all over the place. All right, so let's get in here with a pair of needle nose pliers, and let's pull these clips out. Pretty easy. Just get behind it like this here and pull it out. Not a big deal because we're going to be changing these anyway, so you don't have to worry about saving them. But we did check to make sure that the new line had these clips on it. Right? So just get underneath it and you pull it out like this. Same thing on this side here. I always find needle nose pliers work best versus anything else. Now before we go any further, I see that this line separates right here. Let me open the new one up and make sure it's the entire line right down to the bottom of the bucket there. So let's open up the new one and see what it looks like. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because whenever you see a connection like this, you have to make sure that you have the entire line. And as you can see, we do have the entire line all the way down to the pump in the side of the reservoir bucket. So let's continue taking out that the old line, and we'll put the new one back in. All right, so these clips don't really matter. We're just going to take them all out like that. Now, this bucket is pretty full with washer fluid, so we're going to try to minimize the amount of fluid that we lose. So I'm going to lay the new line in there already, and then we're going to pull that line off the bucket down here, and we're going to slide the new one back on. So let me do that. Okay, so now we have the other line laying right next to the old line. Let's remove it and minimize the amount of loss that we have. Okay. All right. So now we have the new line connected on. And what we're going to do is we're just going to replace that line back into the existing holes that it came out of. Remember, we came out of here, here, and just follow it through and make sure everything goes back in where you previously took it out from. Because like I said, the worst thing you can do is just leave this hose laying in here and crush it when you put the car back down. Alright, so for now we're just going to stop right there for a second. We're going to take this one off of here. Now this, it doesn't matter because we're going to change it. So we're going to get rid of that. Now, we're going to change these nozzles here, and this nozzle's broken anyway, actually. So we just take it out like that. And reach around to the back and take it out. As you can see, that nozzle is broken. Let me show you. This is the replacement nozzle for it. You see these lock tabs right here? These lock tabs are what hold it into the hood. And as you can see, this one is not even the right one for this one. So we're going to come around from the back. We're going to take this nozzle and we're going to put it in like this. And you push it and you'll feel it lock in place. Next thing we'll do is we're going to go around. We're going to have to cut these zip ties off here. Let me get a pair of cutting pliers, and we're right there. All right. I don't know what they did, and I don't care what they did. We're just going to replace it with the new, like this. Now, the way you get this out of here, not that it makes any difference because we're going to be trashing it anyway. You get underneath here with a pair of pliers like this, and you just squeeze it together. Oh, that doesn't matter. It just blew right out of there. All right, so now we're going to put our new nozzle back in. We're going to reach around from the other side. Obviously, you want to make sure your nozzle is pointing the correct location to the window. You want to make sure it's squirting towards the window, and don't put it in by accident this way, because you'll be spraying the guy in front of you. All right, like this, like that, and push it, and it snaps right in place. All right, then what we're going to do, we're just going to grab our new hose, and we're going to bring it back around, and we're going to reconnect it where it belongs. Now, remember this one? It was right in there, so we're going to put that in there. This piece here, we're going to connect it up there, and this one goes on here. Now I'm just going to push it on all the way like that. Then we're going to do the exact same thing on this one here. Alright, and now we're going to grab our cover, and we're going to slide our cover back on. And but before we do anything, let's lower the hood down and test it and make sure it's working properly. We'll go back in the car. Key on, and there we go. Sprays perfectly on both sides. Alright, let's go underneath the hood and let's put that cover back on, and let's start to wrap this job up. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put that cover back on that we previously took off. Now remember, you have to slide over the top of these hooks right here. You slide it over the top like this, and like this. Okay? And then we're going to put these pins back in. Thanks for watching, and like always, see you on the next one.